Basically, when you
all the way into his bedroom. I don't think I'd ever seen that much evidence in any single case, ever.
when you couple that with evidence of motivation, and that was the history of domestic violence, with Simpson physically and psychologically abusing Nicole Brown.
My woman.
This was a domestic violence case that culminated in murder. End of story.
So yeah, they feel like this is an open and shut case. You've got the wound to his hand. You've got a blood trail leading up to his bedroom. The blood's all over the Bronco. But then, because OJ has tons of money, he hires Trump's lawyer and Jeffrey Epstein's friend, Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz joins the dream team. And Alan Dershowitz calls his Jewish friend over at the New Yorker. And Alan Dershowitz tells his Jewish friend, I need you to find some dirt on Mark Fuhrman, the guy who found the glove. And so he does. Jeffrey Toobin of the New Yorker decides to target Mark Fuhrman and try to dig up dirt on him. And he finds a workman's compensation lawsuit where Mark Fuhrman, who had to work in black neighborhoods while working at the LAPD, was trying to get workers' compensation for the having to work in an ultra-violent environment. He worked in Watts, where the Watts riot was. And he said that he had a lot of emotional stress and tension and hated the job, and it was a war zone, because it was. And in one of the interviews, he says,
We were kings and shit.
And so this Jew decides to write an article about how Mark Fuhrman is a racist who hates black people, and he probably planted that glove. And he goes to Alan Dershowitz, his Jewish friend, and says, yeah, you were right. That Mark Fuhrman guy, he's a dirty racist. All this other evidence doesn't mean anything. It's this dirty racist. He's conspiring to put that bloody glove. He planted the evidence even before he knew what was going on, right? Like Mark Fuhrman, who shows up the night they discover the bodies, decided to get the bloody glove from the scene, because apparently both gloves, according to this theory, were left at the scene. He gets one of them and plants it at the scene of the crime. Johnny Cochran, who is a race hustler who gets involved with all these cases, like I guess you would say, the Trayvon Martins of yesteryear, trying to milk money out of the institutions that the blacks leech off of. And when they fuck around and find out occasionally, he's there to try to make some money. The DA is so confident in his case, but also so worried about his political situation in a city that is increasingly black and increasingly views the government as racist. Even though he's given the opportunity to try this case in an area where the jury pool would be almost 100% white, especially if he tried the case